Hi guys, welcome back to my XPS guide. Now I'm gonna talk about the banner which gonna come on this week. So yes, finally, trap after trap, like have been predicted, we finally get Oracle Lunafreya. So first of all, she is like, I can say she is like Water Terra. Okay, so on the normal form, she can chain with Chaos Wave Awaken, Light and Water element. So it's about the same like Terra, who also able to chain with Chaos Wave Awaken on normal form, and on Brave Shift form she can chain with Lightning element. It is evoke chain, so I can say it is better than Terra Neo Fission Brave Shift form, because Terra Neo Fission only able to chain with non-elemental Chaos Wave family. Okay, but yes, the point here is she is basically Water Terra. Okay, same damage modifier for her limit burst, 80 times evoke damage, so about the same. But the main weakness is she require higher limit burst crystals compared to Terra. Okay, so for Terra she need 36 limit burst crystals, but for Oracle Lunafreya she need 50 limit burst crystals. This is important because if you know that Dark Vision setup usually use like Realm, Lumina, using Terra, it's possible for them to feel Terra on the first turn, but for Oracle Lunafreya, since she need 50 limit burst crystals, you probably cannot use the same setup. Okay, another weakness that I find from her is she only get plus 100% change modifier. That's not a problem. Actually, this is maybe an advantage compared to Terra, but the point here is if you make her into true dual wield characters, then you still need to get another 100% chain modifier. If you make her into true double hand, it's not a problem because you probably able to get higher magic compared to true dual wield setup. But there is another problem. Okay, like you know that for evoker you need to get evo damage boost, and yes, if you only equip one weapon, that means wow, you only get like 50% evo damage or lb damage, unlike let's say Terra Neo Fission, who able to get 100% if you have two of her STMR. Okay, so basically that's her weakness. But again, this is simply short preview. Maybe her magic stats can outclass Terra Neo Fission damage. Who knows? Let's just do this test later after she out on the global. So that's enough for Oracle Lunafreya preview. Now let's talk about the next 3 Neo Fission Awaken units. Okay, let's start with Ignis. So for Ignis, like you knew that wow, he was one of the best buffer on the global, and I can say on his Neo Fission Awaken form, he is not the best buffer anymore. Sure, he can still buff your party. Okay, he can still give you 250 to 280% all stats buff, so that's perfectly usable. Okay, on today's standard. But the point here is to use his 80% all elemental resist and let's say 50% damage mitigation, you still need a setup. Okay, so on his Brave Shift form, the good thing is he can also become your attacker. Okay, he has triple cast with Stardust Ray and Bolting Strike chain, so he can help your party to chain after he finished with his buff. And of course, he also able to imperil 3 elements: fire, ice, and lightning. So it's good if your main attacker cannot do that, but most of main characters able to imperil those elements. Okay, and maybe the new buff we get on this week is he can grant 10 times physical damage modifier to all abilities except limit burst. So I find this gonna be useful for multi-hit attack. So for example, Warrior of like Bards, he has Brave Blade, and Brave Blade consists of 3 attacks which has 50% ignore defense. So that will works really well with Warrior of Light Bards. But again, that's simply theory, okay? I haven't tested it. And another good thing for him is he able to imbue fire, ice, lightning to all characters. But again, if I'm not mistaken, you need to do a setup to be able to do that. Okay, so maybe kind of meh in my opinion. And yes, his limit burst is easily spammable. So maybe you can also make him into a healer because his pressure limit burst can heal quite decent amount of health. Okay, and I can say even as an attacker, he is kind of useless because he doesn't have plus 200% chain damage modifier. Okay, so I don't think he is that great as an attacker. Okay, so basically he is still a support here, but his support is not meta defining like on the past. Okay, on the past he is insane, but now not that good in my opinion. Okay, and his Trust Mastery word, of course, it is one of the worst Trust Mastery word on the game. His STMR quite useful though. Okay, so that's for Ignis. Now let's talk about Prompto. So Prompto, yes, on the past he was a troll, okay, but now maybe not so much troll, but I don't think he is still meta defining because sure he able to break for your party, but his break range between 75 to 80% all stats break. So yes, that's pretty usable on today's standard. So if you still don't have breakers on your party, then he can be a good alternative. But again, most Neo-Vision breakers can break like 85%. This one only 80%, so it's kind of strange. Trust me, guys. Trust me that 5% difference is huge. And maybe the special thing is he can break defense by 87%. So on global, we have Venera. Okay, but yes, on Japan, they don't have Venera. So I think Prompto is the best defense breaker. Yes, only 2% better, but maybe it's 25% more damage. So yes, it is still useful if you don't have Venera. And his limit burst can inflict 100% all ailments. So maybe if the boss can be inflicted with certain ailments, then he can be useful. And another interesting thing I find about him is he can become nice finisher because if you combine two of his abilities, he can deal like 750 times damage. So that's quite huge, okay, especially on the first turn setup. He can become quite nice finisher, but again, I'm not sure because I don't know about the attack animation. So if the attack animation is slow, then it's trash. But otherwise, it's good. Okay, and he can also break 50% accuracy. So pretty nice, I can guess. If you have like King Behemi, then that means 100% evasion without proper equipment for 100% evasion. So very nice, and he can become nice provoker himself because he has innate 40% physical evasion. Okay, so yes, maybe he was a troll, but today I can say he is quite good. But for an attacker, I can say that it's kind of bad because he doesn't have plus 200% chain damage modifier. But luckily, he can become true double hand. Okay, he has 200% true double hand. So maybe it's better to make him into true double hand finisher instead of true dual wield. Okay, and his Grandis that deal 450 times, you can only use it one times. This is good maybe on scenario like Dark Vision, but on long-term battle, he is not that good as an attacker. Okay, only use him as breakers if you don't have better breakers, of course. Okay, so that's all for Ignis. For Prompto. Now for the final character, Gladiolus. Yes, I named him as Gladiolus on the past, but luckily today there's something special about him. Okay, especially on his normal form, because yes, if I'm not mistaken, he is the first NVA physical tank available on the FFBE Global. Okay, so if you don't have Gabran, if you don't have King Behemi, then maybe he can fill your AoE physical tank slot until you have proper Neo Vision tank. But again, I haven't done any calculation on how his defense works, etc. So I'm not sure. But the interesting here is on Brave Shift form, he is not a tank anymore. So beware, if you use his AoE cover, make sure you don't change into Brave Shift. Unless, of course, you gear his Brave Shift form with defense equipment. Okay, but that's not his Brave Shift form 4. On Brave Shift form, if you equip Genji Blade, then you can get like 180% attack. And if I'm not mistaken, he already get 200% attack boost, which means you only need 20% attack boost to reach the maximum. So yes, that's pretty good. Okay, considering you only need 20% more, you can feel it. You can feel his additional, empty ability slot with killers, etc. Okay, and he also able to chain with bolting strike and protector's bayonet. Very nice. And yes, 500% great sword and katana break. So even when you don't use him frequently, maybe you will use him when you need those weapon breaks type. Okay, and again, like other Final Fantasy 15 NVA, he doesn't have plus chain damage modifier. So it's not that good again. Okay, so that's all for the characters. Now the final question, should you summon? So like usual, yes, you should summon if yes you want to have, of course, like that Ferris, Terra, I can say they are the best evoke finisher on this game. Okay, they can deal insane amount of damage. On Dark Vision especially, you can easily max your damage output using Evoker. Okay, and that will be the same with Oracle Lunafreya. Yes, I know I have said that she require 50 limit burst crystals, but the point here is she able to do that with right setup. Okay, very nice. And remember, we rarely have a banner which have 3 Neo Vision Awakened units. So even if you miss Oracle Lunafreya, at least you can get a character that has a potential to become NVA unit. Yes, I know the NVA are not meta-defining at this point, but still they are quite decent if you know how to use them. Okay, and yes, those are the reason for you to pull. Actually, I really want to pull for Oracle Lunafreya too, but like that I have run out of my lapis. So the reason for not pull on this banner is if you don't have proper Neo Vision physical tanker, then I suggest you to get that King Behemoth. Okay, but yes, like I said, there is Gladiolus on this banner, so maybe he is enough. You don't need to have King Behemoth, or if you already have Gabran or Snow, I have warned you, don't pull for King Behemoth. Okay, better save for other characters, and this banner is a good time to use your lapis, okay, to get Water Terra. Okay, and I can say, even when we can get all 5 stars that able to become Neo Vision Awakened, none of them are meta-defining. So I don't think we need to force ourselves to get those characters. Okay, in my opinion, they are kind of mediocre because lack 200% chain damage modifier. Okay, so meh, I guess. Okay, so I think that's all you need to know about this week banner. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Guide. Bye bye guys!